Number 1.
This happened when I was about 14. It was around Halloween, and I had gone to a friend's party, got drunk, and had to stay the night or my mother would have been completely livid. It was already a friend she knew was a promiscuous party type. But I ended up staying with her for a few days, and we had gone across the street from her apartment to Panhandle so we could get cigarettes and some weed. We were sitting there, and people kept giving us money because we looked homeless, sitting there in the cold with a blanket wrapped around us. We even made up this elaborate story about us being sisters and running away from an abusive father. I know it was bad, but I was desperate for friends, and this girl was liked by all the people in our group, so I wanted to hang around her to be cool also. Bad idea. So everything is going fine, until this Hispanic man comes up and asks if we want hot chocolate. We politely declined because he was pretty creepy. I knew the look he had in his eye all too well, and I was pretty scared right away. Anyways, we had told him no, but he bought it anyways and goes to his car. He comes back over to us and asks if we want to sit in his car to warm up. We say no. He returns to his car again. About 5 minutes pass, and here this dude is again, but this time saying we can do him a favor and he'll pay us. I was staring down, blowing on my hot chocolate to cool it down, and he says to my friend that it looks like I know how to blow and he'll pay us good. We say fuck no, and he leaves. Creepy, but at least he left. The fucker comes back and says sorry. He thought we were those kind of girls. He asked if we would like him to help at his work, and my friend says yes. I couldn't believe it, but here we were in this guy's car on the way to his work, which is down the street at a house he was renovating. He puts us to work, wetting wallpaper and sanding stairs, and is all well for about an hour and then steps outside on the phone. He comes back and saying that people who own the house are on the way back, and we have to go a bit, but he promises to take us to Walmart to buy us some clothes and food. We pass Walmart and get on the freeway, and I start crying. My friend is giggling. I ask the guy where the fuck we're going, and he says Walmart. I say we passed 2 Walmarts. He ignores me. I'm really freaking out at this point. After driving in circles for about 45 minutes, he says we're going to his buddy's house so we can make some money. I'm begging for him to stop the car and let us out. He says it'll be fun. We can give him head and let his friends fuck us, and then we can go. He even takes out a $100 bill and throws it on the seat and says it's a down payment. My fucking friend looks at me and says with a smile, "It's okay, I've done it before." I was shocked and appalled. She started negotiating with him, and she was serious as hell. Mind you, we were still driving in circles on the freeway, back and forth. I think he was trying to confuse us because we told him the homeless story we made up and even gave him fake names and said we were from a different state. I grabbed the money off the seat and put it in my pocket. He pulls off the highway and I start trying to open the door, which he locks, but we get it open and run like fucking hell. We ran straight to a lady and tell her everything, and she takes us back to my friend's house. We never told a soul, but we went to see Happy Feet with the money we got, and we got our weed and alcohol with it. Needless to say, I stopped talking to her, and I am still ashamed to say that I ever put myself in a situation like that. Thank God for the woman who took us home. So the guy who tried to kidnap and rape us, and to the girl who was okay with it happening, let's not meet ever again.
Number 2.
Back in high school, I decided to take a step into the dating world and expose my sexuality. Now, for me, being a gay guy, I'm very picky on the guys I want to be with. He has to be sweet and kind, has to learn to take care of himself, and most importantly, give me a bit of space when I'm not feeling too great a certain day. I was on Facebook one day, and I came across this guy named Ryan. Ryan was very charming. He had green eyes, pearl white teeth, dark brown hair, perfect jawline and cheekbones. I added him on Facebook and we started chatting for a bit and we exchanged numbers. He would call me whenever I got home and we would pretty much talk about dirty things for about 4 to 5 hours. Fast forward a couple days later, we decided to get some dinner at a restaurant called Blue Jam Cafe. It's located in Calabasas, and I always went there as a teen because of the vegan oatmeal and the yummy breakfast meals. Ryan shows up and we share our first hug together and things went well. As the date ended, we took things to the next level and shared a passionate kiss by his car for a while. We say our goodbyes and head on our way. The first couple of years went great until I had realized I was losing feelings for him. I texted Ryan and said, "Hey, listen, we need to talk. I love you and all, but I just don't think we could be together anymore. I'm moving to Florida to pursue a degree in writing." He texted me back saying, "You are never allowed to leave me. I thought we were going to be married and adopt kids like you said." I was really freaked out because not once did I ever mention marriage and kids while dating him. Things got psychotic with him within the next year as he went to my mother and said, "Your son cheated on me and is moving to Florida to be with another man." My mom knew that was complete bullshit until she ringed me up last Friday and said, "You need to get on Facebook now, Cameron." I get on Facebook and there on my timeline was filled with psychotic statuses from Ryan saying, "I'm gonna kill his new boyfriend. How dare he cheat on me with someone that just wants him for his looks. I was the best thing that ever happened to him. We were planning on getting married and having a little family, but nope, he cheated." One status made my blood go cold, and it said, I quote, "I cannot wait to kill him and roll around in his blood, licking it off of him, because then he will never leave me." I threw my laptop on the floor and just cringed the entire time and stayed in shock because this is just psychotic ass shit. I took it to the police and Ryan was arrested. Never have I ever felt so fucking scared in my life, and most importantly, I have never ever felt so terrified of losing my life. I am now married to the most loving man in my life, and we have adopted a beautiful 3-month-old girl named Nikki. And finally, I earned my degree in writing. As for Ryan, I hope we never ever come in contact in the nearby future.
Number 3.
I've been lurking through this sub for quite some time and decided to post this event that happened only a few months ago. Sorry if it sounds a bit bland, I'm not the best writer. So I'm a 20-year-old male and I flew to India last November to meet a few family members. It was my first time flying on my own to India, and despite what my family would tell me, I wasn't at all worried since I can speak and understand Hindi, albeit quite badly. Also, I look like I'd pass for an Indian, which I thought would help me blend in. I landed at around 2 a.m., and after landing at Mumbai International Airport, I had to catch a quick airport coach to take me from the international to the domestic airport. Standard procedure, although I found it a bit strange for such a busy airport to have such a system, I managed to make my way onto the coach. Now, I know you must be thinking that the coach must be fake, but it wasn't the coach. I managed to get to the domestic airport just fine, and as I was waiting to disembark, I saw some people dressed in airport gear, checking people's boarding passes. So, I held my pass to show the guy, and as he looked at it, he gave a perplexed look. He scanned my pass again and stated that my flight wasn't due to depart in 4 hours. This is true, but I thought I'd chill at the airport anyway. He said that I'd have to take a taxi and go back to the international airport as they would not let me go into the domestic unless departure was less than 2 hours. I obviously wasn't going to pay for a taxi back to the airport and didn't understand why the airport wouldn't let me in. However, after thinking about all the weird procedures Indian airports have had so far, I had to collect my bags at Mumbai Airport and check them back in at the same place. Disorganized queuing everywhere, getting a damn coach to and from the same airport, and the dim lights at the domestic terminal. I thought this may be another one of its irritating quirks. I agreed with the guy and walked with him to the car park. He was asking me where I was from and what I was doing in India. Just some friendly banter, I thought, but I was too tired and shy to even attempt to speak to him in Hindi. I kept telling him I'm not paying for the taxi, and I have no money on me, just to make sure he wasn't going to scam me. He kept nodding and took me to the taxi he said I should take. Now, from watching Bollywood films, I know how Mumbai taxis look like. They're yellow and black and have a distinctive model. This taxi was a normal silver-colored car with not even an ounce of credibility to pass as a taxi in Mumbai. Surrounding the taxi were a bunch of eerie-looking guys, all looking at me with a straight face. Feeling a bit awry, I backed away a bit while they were talking to one another. Thankfully, the guy who led me to them didn't know I could speak Hindi, and they were saying stuff like, "He's some sweet goods. We'll have fun with him. You've bought a good one. Be sure to not let him go." Aghast, I started sweating and shaking. I know people back home have said I act a bit camp and apparently unintentionally act flirtatious, but I had no idea that a bunch of Indian guys would have any interest in me apart from maybe getting some money. Visibly shaken, I was completely speechless and had no idea how to get out of the situation. The guy had my boarding pass and the car door was open. Then I had an idea. I said to the guy in English, "Can I just quickly buy a coffee? I've been parched for so long." He stated that the police at the door of the airport wouldn't let me in no matter how much I tried, and the best thing was to get into the car. I insisted that I just try to get in, as I was really thirsty and my voice started croaking, out of fear originally, but thankfully it could be passed as thirst. His friends told him to give me my boarding pass back and let me try it out. He gave it back and made me promise I'd come back after the coffee. I obviously obliged and gave him a cute smile as I snatched the pass and power walked it to the terminal. Of course, I didn't want to act too alarmed, as they could have easily ran up to me and tackled me. In addition, the police could have been in cohorts with them and refused me access. Thank you, Indian News. So I made my way to the terminal and showed the policeman my boarding pass. He had a look and I asked him if I was allowed to enter the terminal, just to make sure. He said, "Of course, your flight departs from here," and directed me to the departures lounge. I've never felt so thankful in my life. I breathed a sigh of relief as I hightailed it up the escalator and passed the security check to make sure the gang wouldn't be let in. It was about 4 a.m. at this point, and all I could think of was what would have happened if I couldn't understand Hindi and went into the taxi. To this day, I shudder at the thought. My only regret is not informing the police when I was let in. I think nerves did get the better of me, and I felt distrust towards everyone. Plus, Indian police officers wouldn't have done much to help this situation. Probably would have told me to keep calm and carry on. But yeah, bunch of gang rapists at Mumbai airport, please, let's not meet.